Well, good morning, friends. Thanks so much for joining us here on Up with KREM. I'm Channing Curtis.
And I'm Tim Pham. It's March 1st, friends. I don't know if that excites you or if it kind of makes you like, wow, this year is moving along.
Yeah.
Meteorologist Thomas Patrick is celebrating because it's a meteorological spring. And so, Thomas, it's really delivering to be kind of madness already, isn't it?
Yeah, we can keep going with the March funds as long as we want. But we know that early spring can still feel quite wintry. And that's going to be the case for these first handful of days, as we will still get some snow or grapple showers in our forecast. And we've noted a bit of that already this morning. We're at 34 degrees, which is a lot colder than it was at this point yesterday. And those southwesterly winds are still blustery at around 15 to 20 miles per hour. But Doppler radar is still tracking a few of these snow showers, now moving into far north Idaho, so directly over Bonners Ferry, getting the most of the snow or grapple as of this hour. It was grapple when it was over Spokane at about 3 to 4 o'clock this morning. There's also a small snow shower directly over Moscow, and this is far from done today, as these scattered snow showers will be continuous, not just today, but through the whole weekend.
Happening tonight, the return of the Garland Theater is finally here.
That's right. And this is a story that we have been following for months as new ownership and management took over and made some improvements to the historic building. So this morning, our Brandon T. Jones is joining us live from the Garland right now. So Brandon, a lot of excitement, especially for moviegoers here in Spokane. But what's in store for the big night?
Oh my gosh, there's so much in store. It's an extremely exciting time, and right now I'm standing by with a guy who helped make this possible. I mean, you're just a hard worker. You've seen him before. I had a chance to interview you at the Jedi Alliance, and now you're in your new, I guess, new baby, right? Where are we right now?
So we're standing in the entryway to the Garland Theater. Classic Spokane theater since 1945. We've been in here for the last 8 weeks putting a new fresh spin on, just trying to accentuate the old school, adding in some new school. And I think there's something around every corner now, something to look at.
For sure. This is Tyler Arnold, by the way. I'm sorry if I didn't say his name, but I mean, you speak for yourself. I mean, your name speaks for itself. And then you just talk about the hard work that went into this, man. I know it's been a long process, and you've been extremely passionate about, bringing this back, this gym in our community.
Sure. Yeah. This started about a year ago now. And just the thought of losing the last surviving second run Dollar Theater. Yeah. Chris Bovey from Vintage Print and the team behind him and my team, we just all felt like if we could do something, we should do something. And we tried, we fought for it, and here we are. I mean, we're moments away from opening the doors.
I know, man. This is exciting. If we can take a look around, we're going to be here all morning long. But I mean, can you talk about some of the improvements? Because you're not only preserving, but you're also improving what the Garland is.
Sure. So what we wanted to do was, like you said, we wanted to add something to look at just around every corner. Like, oh, hey, you have to see this. You have to see this. That way, people are getting an experience from the moment they step into the parking lot. Yeah. And then hopefully they'll leave here and they'll tell people, man, you got to see the theater itself. For sure. Not just the film. Absolutely.
And that's what I was telling you guys. This is an experience. I think that's really the cool thing. And I didn't even talk about this, right? The entrance, you're walking into a galaxy far away. I mean, this is the Star Wars entrance right over here. But I know I'm going a little long on time. So Tyler, I appreciate you. We'll be out here the entire morning. And then, there's a ribbon cutting ceremony tonight as well.
That is true.
Yeah, so we'll toss it back to you all in the studio.
Wow, how cool, Brandon. Thank you. The time now is 6:05. Let's take a look at your morning rush. More news in less time. 3 people were killed in a crash with a garbage truck in Grant County. This happened yesterday morning. Investigators say a person driving a Ford F-150 truck crashed into a garbage truck near Mattawa, killing 3 passengers in the pickup. The driver was taken to a hospital with serious injuries. The driver of the garbage truck was not seriously hurt. And now to a story we've been covering for months. The Idaho man accused of murdering his pregnant wife along with their young son last year could face the death penalty. The Teton County Prosecutor's Office filed the notice to seek the death penalty against 48-year-old Jeremy Best. He was indicted by a grand jury and charged with 6 counts, including murder. He has pleaded not guilty. This morning, Spokane police need your help identifying a man suspected of stealing from people at multiple hospitals. So take a look. This man you see here is linked to several stolen wallets, purses, and credit cards. Police also say the man wears unique clothing, including a fedora and jewelry. He also seems to have an injured left eye and gray hair. Anyone with information is asked to call the number on your screen. Well, exciting news for concert goers this morning. Cage the Elephant is coming to Northern Quest this summer. They are taking the stage with Young the Giant and Bakar on June 30th. You can sign up for pre-sale tickets right now on the band's website. Tickets do go on sale next Friday at 10 a.m. That is a look at your morning rush. The Idaho Republican caucus is happening tomorrow. This is to choose the Republican candidate Idahoans want on the November ballot.
So having a caucus is new for the state this year. Our Nicole Hernandez joins us from Idaho to explain what voters need to know.
So Idahoans will not be voting this year. Instead, both parties are going to be holding a caucus. The Republican caucus, like you mentioned, is happening tomorrow. One of them is happening right here at the Coeur d'Alene Inn. This is very different than voting in a primary. Instead of just casting a vote on a ballot, these are going to be open meetings. There will be more than 200 across the state this weekend. People will meet up to talk about who they want to send to the national conventions. I talked to a political scientist, Tony Stewart. He explained the reason Idahoans are going back to a caucus format this year was actually a mistake. Idaho legislators accidentally passed a bill last year that took away the state's primary election.
You have about a 2-hour period in which you can come to the site to sign up, and then they close the doors. And it is a small fraction of the registered voters of the state. Whereas when you have a primary, it's a much, much larger turnout. It's a huge difference.
Now, if you want to go to one of these caucuses, you can go to the website on your screen here to find your voter precinct. A link to that website is on KREM.com as well. Then from there, you can find which caucus location serves that precinct. And this weekend is just the Republican caucus. The Democrats will have theirs on May 23rd. In Coeur d'Alene, Nicole Hernandez, KREM 2 News.
Now, with the 2024 election cycle in full swing, the Idaho election website got a bit of an update. The new site features a user-friendly interface, comprehensive election information, and voter resources. The Idaho Secretary of State says voteidaho.gov is designed to provide the public, candidates, and the media easy access to election and voting information.
There's many elections that Idahoans will be voting on this May, as well as when we head into November, from our federal officers in Congress, legislative races here in the Capitol building, county races at each of the county courthouses. It's going to be a very exciting and active election year, and we're excited to kick this off and really just show voters all the resources and information they can have so that when they head to the polls, they know when they're voting, where they're going to be voting, and what they'll be voting on.
The Secretary of State says the redesign is part of his office's commitment to transparency and accessibility.
Time is 6:09 and our weather conditions are a lot colder this morning compared to yesterday. And that leads us into some snow shower chances that will be present for the next several days in early March. So current temperatures are on either side of that freezing mark, mostly between about 30 and 32 degrees. And when we get precipitation, might even cool off these temperatures a little bit more throughout the day. But as mentioned, a lot colder than yesterday. In fact, we're about 10 to 15 degrees colder overall. But what you're going to note on the 7-day forecast is how many snow shower chances there are for these first 7 days. In fact, all 7 days have at least a chance for some snow, but some of these are looking a little bit better for accumulations than others. So coming up, I'm going to detail our weekend forecast and give you an idea of what part of the weekend has the best chance for snow, so you can plan around that overall.
It's March 1st. That means the kickoff of Women's History Month. It's a time to honor all the strong and courageous women who came before us, paving the way and opening doors. The Equal Rights Amendment, Title IX, and the first major suffragist parade in Washington, D.C. all happened in the month of March. International Women's Day is next Friday. So this morning, we want you to shout out the women who inspire you in your life. You can text us shout outs and or pictures to the number 509-448-2000, and you may see them throughout the month here on Up with KREM.